On December 20th, I'd headed towards Osaka Castle with Okita. Yamazaki came with us to guard us. Oh, thanks, Yamazaki. I thought he was injured for some reason, but maybe I misread that. We had Dr. Matsumoto perform an initial examination on Okita, but his condition didn't improve. As a result, I've had many sleepless nights. The new year passed, and it was January 3rd. Word came from the messenger that a battle had erupted between the shogunate forces and the Satsuma Choshu troops. And then, we discovered how the end of the battle turned out before even the Shinsengumi was told. Oh? Do tell. Hey, you're awake. Okita, how do you feel? Hey, what are you doing? Isn't it obvious? There's gonna be a battle soon, yeah. They need men, so we need to go now. You can't! Please, you need to rest. You're in no condition to be up yet. Besides, even if you go now, I don't know what good you'll be able to do. What are you trying to say? You saying that I won't be useful? That's not what I mean. I wasn't sure if I had the courage to tell Okita what had happened over the past few days. But if I were to avoid it, I was sure that Okita, whose wit often preceded him, would see right through me. I want you to remain calm as I tell you this. Despite the Shinsengumi's best efforts, the magistrate has fallen. And supposedly, Inoue was one of the lives lost in the ensuing battle. Oh no, not him! Again? Yes. And the Supreme Commander, Lord Yoshinobu, has already departed for Edo. So it seems like we, too, will be heading for Edo aboard a ship. And that's why the next game's called Edo Blossoms. I get it. We're all gonna go back to our hometown. Well, hometown. As the weight of the truth began to settle for Okita, it seemed as though he struggled to speak. He powerlessly slumped on top of his bed. Aww. Aww. What a sweet picture. It'll be okay, boo. We'll regroup. I see. Gen's passed away. Kondo must have been real torn up, huh? Yes, very much so. Okita held his head low, and he muttered to himself softly, almost like a one-way conversation. I was supposed to be the Shinsengumi's sword. The Shinsengumi's sword. As he processed the news, he repeated this phrase. It almost felt as though he were lost in a trance, attempting to make meaning of a purpose for which he'd worked his entire life. I drank the water of life just to make sure I could still fight in battle again. But when they needed me most, I was useless to them anyway, and now we're going to Edo. But it pained me to see Okita so broken-hearted, so I couldn't help but chime in. I wasn't sure if my words would be enough to resonate with him, but... Okita, you protected me. Despite not being a member of the Shinsengumi, you risked your life to defend me. I am very thankful for you. If you weren't there, Okita, I could have died. Chizuru. Besides, Hijikata and the rest of the men haven't given up yet. He'd said that when we return to Edo, we are going to make a huge comeback, and by then, I'm sure Kondo will be ready to go. Okita paused, scratching his chin in thought as he looked towards the ground. You're right. Hijikata's a resilient one, doesn't ever give up. There's no way he'll accept defeat. Plus, that's why Kondo trusted him with the Shinsengumi. That's why I need him to step up. At last, I sensed Okita was regaining his composure. Chizuru, mind bringing me my sword? Before I did so, I stared into his eyes to check and make sure he seemed out of his slump. You're not gonna go crazy, right? Alright. I grabbed his sword, which was displayed upon a rack, and I handed it to Okita. That's better. However, when he'd held the sword in his hand, his tone reverted to the melancholy from earlier. Hey, Chizuru. Do you think I could still be the sword for the Shinsengumi? His words inflicted a dull pain upon my heart. I could tell his mind was lingering on the thought of Kondo, as well as the Shinsengumi, which to Okita represented the wishes of Kondo himself. Okita couldn't separate himself from the idea that his own well-being and interests were nothing compared to those of whom he remained loyal. It was something I'd noticed about Okita. Yes, so please, rest for now. So don't worry, when the time comes for you to hold your sword, you'll be there. Sure. If you think I should, then I'll just focus on getting better until we head to Edo. So that as soon as we arrive, I'm gonna swing my sword at anyone and everyone. I'll make sure anyone who gets in Kondo's way is killed before they even think about it. I couldn't tell if his newfound motivation was out of extreme loyalty to Kondo, or if he'd even be willing to slash at his own body should it not recover as we hope it will. Ultimately, it's his humanity I worry for most. Although, knowing Okita, he doesn't share the same fear. As the pain in my heart began to subside, I couldn't contain the tears which began welling in my eyes. And so, I had joined Okita on this journey back to Edo for whatever future was waiting for us on our return. Just like that, eh? Wow. So that's the halfway point for Okita's story. I'm glad he lived. I was really, really worried that they were just going to end it with, like, not knowing if he got better, but... Thankfully, he seems to be okay and just kind of melancholy, but poor Inoue. I'm probably still butchering his name. Like, is it Ino? Inoue? I don't know. Whatever. I'm sorry, I can't even pronounce your name properly, but I'm sad that you died. Off screen at that. Hey, we get to go back through all the pictures. Well, I'm really interested to see how the second half of the story will go. Because, I think it's definitely going to focus more on, you know, getting Okita to realize there's more to, like, he's more than just the sword, and being okay with that. I mean, his whole identity is surrounded in this, and I don't know if Kondo needs to die for him to develop as a character. I hope not, though, because I love Kondo and I don't want him to die. And I love how I hope that we get some backstory on why Souji is so devout to Kondo. Like, did he save him or something? Or I want to know what the story is there. Well, at least we're both still alive. And then, of course, there's my stupid little brother. Or older brother, or whatever. He's my twin. My stupid brother. Causing mayhem wherever he goes. So, we'll have to see what happens with him. I'm sure he's gonna show up again, just to be terrible. Ooh. After credits scene. January 1868. The Battle of Toba Fushimi ended with the Satsuma and Choshu victorious. As the shogunate troops retreated, the Shinsengumi headed towards Edo. 4 years ago, I came to Kyoto all by myself in search for my father and met the Shinsengumi. I am going to leave the city of Kyoto where I made fond memories with the Shinsengumi. Despite the defeat, his resolve didn't waver, and I have chosen to walk alongside him. We are going to head to Edo, without knowing what fate awaits us. But we'll find out. We'll sail the ocean blue to Edo. In the next game, Fiend. We fiend with full blossoms, so hooray! I don't know if I need to click again. Nope. It's just gonna slowly fade on its own. You can do it. It's gonna be like the slowest fade that we've had since I fixed the fading problem. Hey! Okita Dokie-ta? Okita Dokie-ta! That's the name of the episode. Right there. Record of service has been unlocked. Okay. Thank you. That made the entire thing worthwhile. Oh, okay. Record of service, yes. So I'm gonna need that for doing the other endings. So, yeah, if you go to record, I think that's like the chapters. Let's just take a quick look. Yeah, so you can go to the different chapters. And, they're all divided into the different guys. Look at all the colors! Isn't that nice? Alright, and I can go from the bottom. Yeah, so... I can, like, load this with different levels of romance and stuff. There's, like, high romance and low romance. The easiest way to get the other endings is just to load the last chapter, I think? Yeah, load the last chapter with low romance and then pick different options. So that's what I'll do next time. But yeah, that was Souji's route. You know, halfway point. I do really like him. He wormed his way into my heart, but I am worried about him at the same time. So we'll have to wait a little bit, unfortunately, to find out how his story ends. But I hope you guys have enjoyed what you've seen so far. And now there is, as I mentioned at the beginning, a unrequited love ending and a bad ending. So I'm going to be doing those next. So tears may be involved? Horror? I don't know. Depends how things end, I guess. We'll find out shortly. Thank you guys for joining me for this, and I hope I'll see you later. Until then, see ya!